Hello Summers, my name is Adeptofwar. I'm going over a quick overview of Poppy, one of my favorite champions, who is an assassin melee fighter. I've got some gameplay going on right now. Poppy's abilities are great. Valiant Fighter makes her super resilient, gives her 10%. If any damage exceeds 10% of her current health, it's reduced by half. It doesn't count turrets, but it doesn't matter. It makes her one of the best 1v1ers in the game, especially against casters that deal in burst. It's just impossible to kill Poppy at some points. Devastating Blow is her first ability. It's an active which makes her next attack do a combination of base damage, ability power, and 8% of their max health as damage. It's pretty amazing. It costs very little mana, so it's great when you're laning if you want to just last hit minions, or you can just wreck a tank with it, just anybody in particular, and you get an item like Trinity Force where you get a Phage effect to slow and a Sheen effect to power it up. It becomes one of the most devastating moves in the game without critical strikes, so it's pretty great. Paragon of Massey is a second ability. It's a passive gain of attack and armor whenever you take or deal damage. Actively, Poppy gains max stacks when she activates it, and gets movement speed increased for 5 seconds, making her virtually impossible to run away from. Heroic Charge is a third ability, which allows Poppy to charge somebody and carry them a distance, and if they collide with terrain, she'll stun them for 1.5 seconds to deal additional damage. It's pretty great for starting team fights. You can take somebody out of a fight completely if your team can burst them fast enough, or you can just be Poppy and burst them yourself. Diplomatic Immunity is your final ability. It's an active which allows her to focus a target, dealing up to an additional 40% increased damage. Turrets cannot hurt you, other people cannot hurt you or snare you, only the target you focus can, and you can increase damage to them, so it means even in situations where you're one-on-one, it's one of the most useful spells in the game. So it's brilliant. It can take an attack that does 800 damage, and it can make it do, like, I don't know, 1200 damage. It's pretty ridiculous. But anyways, Poppy's one of the best champions of the game because she's very resilient. She's been in the game since time itself. She costs a measly 450 influence points. It's really good investment if you go jump over to the Summoner Store and buy her. My runes that I use move speed runes because I'm a douche. I use attack speed runes because I really don't want to stack it, and most of the time I play AP Poppy, so laning is kind of hard early on. And then I have magic resistant armor runes because if Poppy wasn't resilient enough, now she is. So I don't believe there's jungle pathing for Poppy. She's really a laner. She's a great solo laner, especially against champs like Cho'Gath and other tanky champions, Garen for another one. Another thing she can do is at level 6, she's really good at turret diving. You throw your ult and then you just charge them into their tower and screw them up if they're at half health. So she's a really good champ. And that's about it. So that was my overview of Poppy, one of the best champions of the game. And I hope you appreciated this insight. And I'll see you around. Subscribe if you want.